You like him? Ooh, there you go, boy. In Canada, we're not having much of a winter this year, which is good for me and good for my training, to be quite honest with you. So go global warming. I'm out now training with Chiko. This is like our third day outside training, and it's a very different experience than training inside. There's more sights, smells, distractions, and it's also a lot more space. So the dog has to get used to moving around more. Yesterday it was 16 degrees. Today it's 4 or 5 degrees, so he won't overheat as quickly. So I'm just getting him used to training outside. So this is going to be a training session with me and Chiko. And remember, this is a dog that came to me late November. I'm preparing for trial in the spring season, and there's still a lot of work to do with him. A lot of work. So I'm just going to go and put him in a down while I clean the field up. Let's. I'll let him hang out over there. Usually there's some field cleanup to do, some field prep to do. I'll go put the dog out there in the long down, and then I'll mess with the field, get everything the way I want it to be, get all the junk off the field or all the things that I need to get set up, and I let the dog just hang out there in the long down while I do it. So 2 birds, 1 stone, so to speak. You can see he's a little vocal, he's a little excited. Obviously, I left the ball there for him to look at, and I did that for a reason, which I'm not going to get into on this video. But if you're on my Patreon or you're in my online courses, you should know why I'm doing this. A lot of people ask me about the vocalization, and you can see he's vocalizing a bit. I don't know if you guys will be able to hear it in the video, but what you have to understand about vocalization is sometimes it's one of those things that people don't do enough about. They'll ignore it until it's a really big problem. And then sometimes people try to do too much with it and worry too much about it when it's actually not really going to be a problem. You'll see a lot of my dogs vocalize a lot in training, but I don't really ever have a vocal dog on trial day. And there's a reason for that. And it's just understanding drive, frustration, all that stuff. There's a time to address vocalization, and then there's a time to just kind of let the dog get it out of his system and move forward with the work. And what we're doing right now with Chiko is I'm showing him the routine. I'm preparing him for the IGP routine. He already obviously has seen it to some degree. He has an IGP2 title, but getting everything the way I want it, getting everything to my standards. Loose. You can see the drive is very high, the frustration is very high, and that's simply because the ball is visible somewhat to him, and that's okay. He has to learn to function. You know, a lot of people get worried. They're like, oh no, my dog's out of control. If he sees the ball, he can't work, so I'm going to train with food, or I'm going to do this or that. It's like, no, for me, if he can't train with the ball here, you know, what chance do I have on trial day? When you're looking at reward schedules for a dog, there's a couple of things to keep in mind, right? How far is the dog in training? Is the dog new in the training? Is the dog experienced in the training? Is it a dog that you are retraining? Is it a dog you've trained from scratch? What's the drive behavior of the dog? How long does the dog stay in drive without being reinforced? Does the lack of reinforcement increase drive, or does the lack of reinforcement decrease drive for the dog? For some dogs, the lack of reinforcement creates a little bit more frustration, right? And Chiko's one of those dogs where I can go long periods of time without rewarding because it actually increases the drive. It increases the frustration. You'll notice too that with him, he has a different behavior than my other dog, Gage. The drive behavior is very different. And with Gage, you see that I make a lot more arousal with Gage. Whereas with Chiko, I'm a lot more calm in the way I handle him. I don't amp him up nearly as much. And that's because they're very different dogs. And what works for one doesn't necessarily work for another. So if you see somebody training on YouTube, for instance, Instagram, TikTok, wherever, just be aware that the dog they have and the training that they've done and the experience that dog has is probably not the same as what you've got. And that should inform the decisions you make in training. And there are a lot of different roads to roam. When you're in a retraining situation, when you have a dog that has bad habits, whether it's checking out, whether it's sloppy behaviors, whatever it is, you will not fix those bad habits exclusively with reinforcement, especially if the dog has learned to satisfy himself or herself in the old way. For me, no problem, because I already train in a system where pressure is layered into every exercise and every behavior, because I don't trust the goodwill of people and I don't trust the goodwill of dogs. I know what they are and I know what people are, and there always has to be incentives and consequences for things to go well, right? For things to be reliable, okay? There are a few things that I do that are exclusively motivation-based, and there are a few things that I do, conversely, that are exclusively pressure-based, okay? So it goes both ways. So when you're looking to fix problems, whether those problems are manufactured by poor training or just maybe some life experiences that weren't productive, you have to use pressure in the process. It doesn't have to be all of the process, but that's the only way you're going to get the dog out of a behavior chain that they have learned to satisfy themselves in. You guys are hearing whining right now. It's like for me, if I'm in a nice car, I'm hearing that engine revving. I'm hearing the RPMs screaming a little bit. Wow! Sit. That's good. Good boy. Still a lot of work to do on that sit, but it's coming along now. It's definitely a lot better than it has been in the past. Foos. Nuts! Here. Fix it. Good. Foos. Nuts! Horrendous. We're going to redo that. Going to use a little more there. Sometimes we need a little more pressure for him to incentivize the good behavior to break through that drive and start to get us productive places. So for him, I'm moving now the electric to the back of the neck. I've turned up the level significantly, and I'm going to make a down in motion here. I need him to work harder to get down, to not think so much forward and to think, oh my God, I heard that command. I better move my ass. So we're going to make the whole transition. Let's! Bit better. All right, we'll do one more here. Let's! Still not good enough. Break. We're going to redo that all again. Let's! So you can see there that the down in motion is not fast. We have to work there as well. It's correct, but it's not as fast as it could be. Here. Sit. That was a very nice recall. Sit. The rear end is a little unsettled. Stay. Good. Good. That freeze is what we're looking for. You can see just the prey drive locks the dog in. Good job. With a dog like this, that has this kind of energy, pattern training is the key. He needs to know everything that's going to happen. When you are able to pattern train with a dog like this, and the dog becomes very familiar with the program, you start to see a ton of power shown, and very correct power and precision. That's really what we're after. But again, I'm battling a lot of old training where the dog learned things in a way that I don't like. This weather is the best for training because it's cold, but it's not like freezing. Like I can still feel my fingers. Of course, my nose is always running, but that's dog training for you. Your nose is running or you're either sweating your ass off. It seems like it's one of those two. But it's great for the dogs. They can just go in this weather, you know? Good job, buddy. You guys want to see a cool trick? I'm going to show you what a frozen dog looks like, Foos. I'm going to freeze my dog. Stay. There you go. This is all prey drive, guys. This is all prey drive. Do you guys like my dog all stacked up like this? You see him? Yeah. That's prey, guys. That's just really intense prey. I'm going to go do dumbbells. He's panting fairly heavily. He's not going to hold the dumbbell as firmly as he normally does, but it's okay. We'll still do 1 rep of everything. Break. Chiko. Yeah, boy. Sit. Out. Little raising the rear there, but actually it was fucking pretty good considering how the motions went. The retrieve was very nice. But that's part of dog training too, you know. Like sometimes you take your dog out and you're like, what is this? Like all the behaviors with him are there. For me, like sloppy training just bothers me in the soul. So anytime I see something that's sloppy, I am just motivated to fix it. So sometimes he will touch on the jump, and that's just because the drive goes so high. So we're just working on him just being calm here. Good. Look at the paw. I didn't mean this. Hey, no. Down, out. See, that was wrong. That's not ever allowed to happen. I'm never going to pay that behavior. I'm always going to let them know that's wrong, bro. Yeah, I know they're a little closer together than they normally would be, but you never know in a trial. I've seen so many dogs do that. I'm going to let them know, hey, that's wrong. There's no payment for that. For YouTube people, obviously we've cut this a little bit just for the sake of length. This dog made like 3 mistakes in a row to go back over the A-frame. We showed you guys one. Up. Bring. Yeah, boy. Yes. He went the wrong way, then he changed to the middle. Up. Bring. Yes, good boy. Holy crap. Today is a session, guys. Like yesterday I took him out and we had a session which was like, there was like 3 mistakes in the session. Today, we're on like mistake number 50, but that's okay. That's real life training. This is the session now where like, you really will get somewhere in training because the dog is going to learn, you know, right way, wrong way. If training's always going well, probably he's going to screw you on trial day. There are certain things in trial I'm going to do to make it less likely that that happens if we have a jump and A-frame set up next to each other, which you'll see in SV competitions. This is the one thing I love about this dog's gas tank. Many dogs would have quit already. Up. Bring. Good boy. I saw him think about it. He made the right choice. Now we're getting him a little bit past the brainworm. Now I'm going to send him over the A-frame. You know, he's getting real tired now. If he decides to come back over the jump, I must again correct him and make it clear. What you went out over, you must come back over. And that applies both ways. A lot of dogs will be like, well, you got me in trouble for going on the A-frame 5 times in a row. Now you're telling me to go on the A-frame. It's a bit of a mind screw for the dogs, right? Up. Bring. See? You can see he's exhausted, so he's jumping a little bit sloppy, right? I'm not going to worry so much about his form. He's dead. Thankfully, the A-frame wasn't a problem because I don't know how much dog I have left now. We're going to move to our send-out, and then we're going to summarize what happened. I'm going to mess with his head a little bit. I've got my ball up here, but he must go out. He must leave me and go out. So we'll see if he's willing to do that after all the pressure he's undergone, all the training he's already done. You know, I don't know. I think we're like 20 minutes into this session. So this is one hell of a session. Fuss. Go. Very nice. Watch this now. He's going to come back crazy. Idiot. What's he doing? No. It was very easy to see what I sent you to. I don't know what you were doing. You literally ran to it and went by it. Go. Ah, good boy. He found it. All right, guys. So I just finished going into all the send-out stuff. That's for the Patreon. So if you want to check out our Patreon, check out the link below. This was what I would call a more difficult training session. There were a lot of mistakes. The dog is far from perfect, and there's a lot of sloppy stuff that I'm working on fixing because I need to get this dog reliable and trial ready. He's a fantastic genetic product of a dog. Look at him. He always has 2 balls. So there was a ball for the send-out and a ball on the return. Look at him. Out. He never leaves both of them. You see, he will always take both of them. That's Chiko. If there was 3 of them, he'd have 3 of them. You can see there's so much work to do with this dog. Even though today wasn't a very good showing, there was like a lot of mistakes and stuff. And you can see a lot of things that if aren't addressed properly in the training, they're going to hurt you in trial. This dog is such a fantastic genetic product of a dog that for me, it's worth the retraining. And he's far from the only dog I've retrained that was like this. So I know what's involved. Obviously for me, it's preferable that I have a dog that I raise and train from a puppy, now that I've done it both ways several different times. For Chiko, he's worth the reclamation. He's worth a reclamation project for me just because of the fantastic genetic product that he is. For me, he's like the ideal German Shepherd. Extreme drive, really good hardness, you know, beautiful dog, healthy dog, you know, intense, a dominant male. You know, this is like a good breeding dog for me. And I'm really excited to have him in my program. But I know we have a lot of work to do to get him to the point where he's ready to be shown. Those of you that are struggling with your dogs, remember, not every session is perfect. It's okay to do things over and over again. Of course, depending on the dog and the training that you've put in. It's okay for things not to be perfect. Right? This is real training, right? I could sanitize this video, get rid of all the corrections, only get the best moments, make reels, whatever else with them. But that's not realistic, right? That's not going to help you guys. I want you guys to be able to take something from the free videos I put on YouTube. And then those of you that are taking my paid content, the Patreon, so on and so forth, I want you guys to be able to watch this video. I think I'll actually put the unedited video too in my trial prep course, because this is going to help people understand. Like, I'm trial prepping, believe it or not. I'm trying to put everything together, keep everything together. I'm putting some duct tape on some stuff. I'm putting some bandages on some stuff. And I'm trying to get this dog trial ready in 2 months. So we'll see if I'm successful. The protection and the tracking is the same as the obedience. There's a ton of like little mistakes. He does everything, but it's far from where it should be, especially for a dog of his caliber and quality. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. For those of you that really disagree with like how I'm training, no problem. I'll see you on the trial field. Just keep in mind, again, this is a dog that I got in November, and you know, we've only had like 4 months training together now. You know, he had a lot of, in my opinion, bad habits. He wasn't doing things the right way. And I'm working to fix all of that right now. And he has already a very strong foundation in those things. So now we're changing everything around. And if you really want to change a bad foundation, reward placement isn't going to change it. The cookies you use isn't going to change it. The type of ball you use isn't going to change it. What's really going to change it is the correct application of pressure balanced with drive satisfaction. That's what actually changes bad habits. That's what overrides bad programming inside the dog. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. Check out our online courses. Check out my Patreon. Links for that below. If you're interested in German Shepherd puppies, if you're interested in trained protection dogs or police dogs, check us out, shieldk9dogs.com. More real training coming to you on the next one. I'll see you guys. Have a good one. Again, guys, all the golden snippets from this session, I cut a lot out for YouTube just to be fair to my Patreon people. I got to give them that extra value. And plus, there's some stuff I'm not sharing for free. Even though there's tons of value in the YouTube videos, all the golden snippets, all the real stuff is on the Patreon.